Y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. I have a story that I want to share with you, and it ties into the beast infrastructure and how this digitalization piece is going to work. And it's tied to cell phones. So, one of the things that I have always said, even though at the time it didn't manifest itself, was that all tech is hackable, or all tech. I don't think anything is built without a way to backdoor it, or whatever. Um, so, you think about cell phones and computers, like there's always a way for somebody to be able to do something remotely, or um, you can boot up your device a different way to access it if you need it. So I don't ever think nothing is created where technology or software is concerned that doesn't have a back door. And so when everybody came up with this cryptocurrency, and they were like, oh, it's going to be safe, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And I was like, I just don't believe it, because nothing that we have is unhackable. You look at debit cards. People can walk by you, scan the chip, scan the information, go someplace, make a card, or just use the number online and, take hundreds or thousands of dollars from your bank account uh, before it's discovered by the bank. You could be in one state and it could be happening in another state, because they have, criminals have these networks. Your information is stored somewhere on a server where people work, and it can be stolen and put on the dark web where people can buy it and use your information, later on, years later. Um, Many big box retailers and stores have been hacked, insurance companies, hospitals, et cetera, et cetera. So, to me, it's just like we have relinquished all of our control over to these people who have proven time and time again they are incapable of protecting our information. Even with state governments. You think about, a couple of years ago, and I won't say a couple, it's probably been over 10 years now. At one point, the State Department of Revenues were being hacked. The Social Security Administration had been hacked. So, like, all of our personal information has been collected, and so if anybody wants to do anything to us, they can. If anybody wants to know anything about us, they already know it. And so when they came up with this crypto stuff, I was like, how is it that they think this is going to be secure? Like, they haven't invented anything that's foolproof or safe or unhackable. Um, so I just don't know. And then, people are constantly trying to work to hack into it. So not only if they aren't hacking into it, they're constantly trying to hack into things that are uh, allegedly unhackable or extremely difficult to hack into. But I don't think by any means that anything is safe. And so this story on Daily Hodum just reinforced my thinking, but it also, caused me to think about this thing with these cell phones and these SIMs, and they want you to register your, digital ID number with your SIM, or you can't access your bank account. Your bank account will be closed and whatever, because all of this is going to be a part of this beast system. And so this story is tied to that, because it shows how the beast system is going to control your money one way or the other. And I kind of think, just this is put my tin hat on, call me crazy. I think crypto was created to get people to buy into this thing, get them to invest in it, get them to use it. It was a pilot. And now all these governments are working to squash it. And if they aren't doing it, they're looking at us and other countries that are trying to do it, so that once we do it, everybody else is going to join the bandwagon, and then they're going to create their own one system, or you're going to go to this one system because it's already created. So I think crypto was the pilot for digital currency. That's just my 2 cents. So let's look at this particular story. So it says US government could create backdoor to smartphones to access crypto wallets, warns Balaji Srinivasan. Excuse me for butchering the name because I can't pronounce it. All right. Okay, former Coinbase Chief Technology Officer Balaji Srinivasan thinks the US government could try to use tech giants like Apple and Google to steal crypto from citizens. Srinivasan says that world governments could be bankrupt in a decade and desperate to seize Bitcoin to fund their operations. So what's interesting is like it's all digital money. So like just why you can't make up you some numbers and say, hi, we got this. You know, I can easily see how, this person would think this, but just, this imaginary, all this wealth that, people invested and, you made it wealthy, you didn't make it wealthy. Like it's all like going to Vegas and putting your money in a lottery machine. You might win, you might not. Some people win, some people don't. You put your money in a pot and you don't win anything, but somebody comes behind you and win the money and they go home happy because they won. But somebody's going home and, they worked for their money. They put their money in that machine and they lost their money, but somebody's going to come in behind them and put their money in. They're going to win. The person who owns the machine and controls the machine, they win real big because they have the machine set to pay out, whatever they want to pay out, or hold it, make it tight so it doesn't pay out. And then they get all this money and revenue. So it's like a big Ponzi scheme, basically. So, to me, like this, it just doesn't make any sense. And it's like magic. I guess that's the best way to say when you think about it from just a purely logical standpoint. And I know people want to talk about, oh, you got to invest in this business and like this stuff. This is not how we supposed to live. Like really, if you're Yasharel, this is not in our word to live like this, to invest like this, to be stressed like this. There is no easy way to make money. There's no easy way, unless you were wealthy and the wealth came from, something that you did, either from your labor or from some resources that you accrued. It's not many ways to generate wealth the way that the Most High taught us to. Or the way that we are supposed to accrue wealth. But all these schemes these people coming up with, I look at them, but I just, I've never been led to put my heart into these things because I just felt like it was a scheme. And as we come to the end of this civilization, it is being confirmed, how many things in this system, in this society are not real. And so everybody's scrambling, trying to keep whatever thing that they got from the scheme. And it just ain't going to work because it's a scheme. So let me continue with this story. So he says the U.S. government probably won't have the capability to execute a 51% attack on Bitcoin. A 51% attack is when a miner or mining pool gains more than 50% of the network hash rate in order to rewrite the ledger and double spend prior transactions. The man says Dragon Country might be able to pull off a 51% attack, but notes that most mining happens outside of Dragon Country's borders now, making that outcome less likely. The former Coinbase CTO says the real systemic risk for crypto are Apple and Google. So he says, and this is in quotations, it says, instead, the federal government may try to compel Apple and Google to hunt for private keys on the servers, devices, and browsers they control, and to remit any stolen funds to a cash-hungry federal government. This isn't cyber terrorism, it's cyber war. So check this out. So it's not cyber terrorism, it's cyber war. It's not the same. It's not some random hacker who manages to sneak out a file. It's when the CEO of a company gives the lawful order to hack their customers. And so that's kind of like the stuff that went on with the intelligence agency that Edward Snowden was telling us about. This is similar to what happened to 140 million Russians designated enemies of the state in early 2022. Every tech company turned on their former customers. And so, that's something that I found interesting, but it's also really important because anytime, you're trying to be liberated or you're trying to educate people about the harms that these kingdoms do to us, you're seen as a enemy or a threat. You are a problem for the social order. And so you're labeled. And, a lot of us, just because of our beliefs, we understand who we are. We're trying to live a certain way. We're trying to wake people up. We're considered threats. And I don't know whether you realize that or not. No matter where you are, if you are not down with this new system coming online, you're considered a threat. And so it's just very interesting that these tech companies, we're not safe. You're not hiding. Even if you have an IP address, somebody owns the IP address company, the VPN company. And so there is no safety. There is no hiding. Anytime that you don't have control over something, you got to pay somebody else to be responsible for it. You don't control it. And when you don't control it, you have no control over whether the people turn over the information that the government is wanting. So you can be in your house and the government can come knock on the door and you can say, do you have a warrant? And you can say, no, you can't come in. Or they can say, no, I don't have a warrant, and you don't have to let them in. um somebody can ask you for information, and it's your choice to decide whether or not you're going to relinquish that information if you are in possession of it, whether it's in your head or in your house or in your purse or wallet. Or you can just be like, okay, I'll turn it over to you. um we don't have any control over anything anymore, and this is the unfortunate state of technology and them having us slowly convert the way that we live to depend on these devices, and the way that they convert it to them so that they can demand that we switch over in order to do business with them. So slowly we've all been, programmed to participate in the coming of this beast system. But now it's like at the tail end of it, and everybody's going to have to make a decision about whether or not we're going to take a part in it. And so um, it's just interesting, but it goes back to why I say technology. You're not going to be able to have technology in this system, and you're not going to be able to participate in this system without technology. So that's just something that I'm just driving home to people who listen to my channel. So it says he's been, oh, I'm sorry, Simerson Srinivasan notes that Apple chief executive Tim Cook might stand up to governments in such a scenario. So it says he's been good on end-to-end encryption and stood up to the establishment on the CSAM, the Child Sexual Abuse Material on Device Scanning Initiative, which was an obvious way to get the snout under the tent. In March, Srinivasan made waves in the crypto world after placing $1 million bet that Bitcoin would skyrocket to $1 million in just 90 days in response to failing banks and hyperinflation. BTC was trading around $27,000 at the time of his bet and trading at a similar price earlier this month when the former CTO decided to pay out $1.5 million to close his wager. Srinivasan then claimed he just made the bet to raise public alarm about the Federal Reserve's monetary policies. So anyway, this story is about the government possibly building a backdoor or already having people who can make a backdoor to steal money. So if you have money invested in crypto, your crypto probably is not safe. If they're saying this, then it's probably a possibility. And I'm just a firm believer that crypto came from them anyway. I've always said this and I'm going to stick to it. Everything else came from them. Everything else came from them. So why wouldn't this come from them? So again, you're going to have to try to win yourself off of this technology. We're not going to be able to use cell phones in this coming new world order. You're not going to be able to have any privacy. Your wallet, it will be hackable. So if they get mad at you, they can go into your mobile device and cut off your money. They can cut off your access. They can cut off your internet. They can stop your phone from making phone calls. So you're going to have to become accustomed to having everything in your life that they want you to have controlled by them. Or you can already be weaning yourself away from these things and getting it in your heart and mind that you're not going to be able to live with these technologies because they're basically a prison. Like you're walking literally with your correctional officer, so to speak, and your bank and the government. So just keep that in mind as you figure things out, because if they can do it here, they'll be doing it everywhere. But everybody in the world is watching to see what the US does, because whatever we allow our government to get away with, then other people in the world, other governments in the world will do it to their people, or the people will push back in other places and resist. But so far, the resistance has not been going well. Like in India, everybody had to convert to the digital ID and get a cell phone, or they couldn't participate in society. They couldn't pay taxes. They couldn't get gas. They just couldn't do business. And even if you received any type of public assistance from the government, you were required to sign up for certain things. It is going to come to that here, and it's going to come very quickly. I think as soon as they get this Fed now up, I'll give it 6 months and they'll be saying the same thing. You got to do this, and we'll give you a certain amount of time. If you don't do it, doop de doop de doop. And then all hell gonna break loose, because the people who understand what it is about are gonna cut up. Not us people, African American Black people, because y'all know we can't do nothing. They ready to kill us now for no reason. So we gonna be sitting at home on the sidelines looking like, what's going on? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, y'all go out there, Patriots. Y'all do y'all thing. I'm fight the power. But we're not gonna really be able to participate. So, this is a time where we have to really be mindful about what we join, what we do, where we go, what we say when we come to resistance. At this point, we should not be resisting anything. We should be fleeing this system because it's not ours, because we know it's going to fall, because it is not, this is the end of this civilization. Whatever's coming is coming. We should be trying to focus on, the Most High, preparing ourselves for whatever is to come in our life and whatever possible hardships that will come from detaching from this system. And we also have to anticipate the people who don't have a backbone, the people who don't know the Most High, will likely be working as informants and scoffers. So, you need to use this time to fortify, yourselves with the word, to spend time alone talking to the Most High, seeing if He can, take anything out of you that shouldn't be in you, that could cause you to have fear, that could cause anxiety. And we're human, so of course we're going to be a little anxious and a little concerned. But we need to understand that these things must happen so that this world can do what it's doing, and we can get on with the business of getting to the wilderness, because I'm ready to go to the wilderness myself. But whenever that time comes, I would like to be ready, and I would like to be shown approved so that I can go. So spend this time praying, repenting, seeking the Most High, and strategizing. How am I going to do this? Everything that I bring to you should not bring fear to you. It's just another thing. How can I navigate this? Okay, well, this solidifies. I'm gonna have to get rid of technology. This solidifies. When it's time to get rid of this phone, I'm gonna throw it in the river. I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do to it, and start, figuring out what is your next move. How are you gonna sustain yourself? How will you communicate? How will you, you know, handle currency or resources? So those are things that we have to think about. So again, use your money wisely, buy things that are tangible, prepare for what's coming, because things are clearly escalating. And as this article says, our government doesn't have any money. The world knows we don't have any money. The emperor doesn't have any more clothes to steal. So just make sure you're doing what you got to do, because we do not have any body that we can rely on, not even any other groups. We are on our own, and we are all we got. So spend this time doing what you need to do. Understand what's coming. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel if you like this type of content. Please hit the bell notification so that you can receive all the videos notifications when I upload. Please consider subscribing to Rumble and Odyssey in the event that this channel goes down. With the censorship that is going on right now, it's highly likely that this channel would be taken offline, and we are silenced. A lot of us are going to be silenced, and we know this. So, we will continue until we can't, but I can't guarantee that I'll be here on YouTube. Also, consider subscribing to Marleyisms on Facebook and to Marley K on Instagram, so that if these things do go down, I have another way to communicate with you. And again, continue to pray, prep, seek the Most High, repent, and try to wake people up, because things are moving pretty fast, and there's no stopping this thing. Things are moving full steam ahead. All right, y'all, this is Marley K, and I'm out.